Rob Gillio. How are you? And
Very
welcome to
good.
our very first My Fit Family Force weekly training series that we're going to kick off this summer. Really designed for moms and dads and teens and seniors who might want to take advantage of the summertime and help increase their health literacy rates, perhaps taking a little bit better focus on how they can own their own health and be a better force for health so they can be a better force for health for others. So I'm based here in Tucson, Arizona. And Rob, you are based in State College right there, right?
Yep, I'm up here in Pennsylvania, and I'm concerned that people have not been active socializing as much as they should. Can they get out and walk and move and interact more as we become a family that looks out for each other? It's time to start moving instead of being isolated. So, can we have a fit family effort happen this summer for both physical and mental and spiritual health?
Yeah, so this is a new series for us. Let's go ahead and kind of bring up a quick graphic. We're basically going to kick off a 1 hour power hour on Thursday afternoons, starting today through August. And it's going to come in 4 different segments. This first segment is going to be focused on protecting the gift. You'll notice our logo includes that tag, protect the gift. So we're going to talk about what that actually means to you, me, Rob, and everybody kind of watching out there. The second segment, we will be joined by Jessica Shelley and Mona Nieheim Canales for some coaching tips just for moms and dads. So that'll kick off at about 4:15. From 4:15 and from 4:30 to 4:45, we're going to have a little conversation about heroes and highlights, celebrating Force for Health in action. And then we will round out the hour 4:45 to 5 o'clock talking about what is Reality Health Games, why should we care, and what we're looking to do for the upcoming school year. So Rob, let's kind of get into it. I'm going to take this off,
Well,
coming in.
Let me just start out with saying, Lucy, that it's maybe 4 o'clock where you are, but it's 7 o'clock here on the East Coast. So those times all apply. Similarly, don't feel like you missed anything. It's just getting started.
Yeah, and it was your birthday week. We had an executive roundtable earlier in the week, which will be available on our channel. But let's just spend the first couple minutes on opening up this first week of the second half of the year. July 4th, this reminder to kind of own your own health and to be a thoughtful, kind, compassionate, and engaged, literate citizen of whatever country. But more importantly, the U.S., because it was our July 4th Independence Day. But it was also your birthday on Monday. So any follow-up thoughts from...
My birthday was saddened by the events that happened in Highland Park, Illinois, with family and friends. My mother's family doctor was at the parade. It's a sort of thing where resilience is a word that comes to mind that you're going to hear a lot about this year. Resilience really is being strong enough to really enjoy your existence, but also to let things kind of bounce off of you and not affect you as much. And so as we think about resilience today, I'd like to talk about, Lucy, the excitement of getting in shape. And then when you're in shape, what can you do to help others? What can you do to protect yourself and to step up to help others if something bad happens? And bad doesn't necessarily, this is the other thing that's been on my mind, Lucy, is it's one thing to have a big event like that shooting or the shootings that have happened other places, but we're all living in a bit of a crisis of a slow motion disaster of 3 years of suffering through COVID, various political unrest, disparity issues, a war we don't quite understand. And we have a declining life expectancy in this country from before COVID, from mental health suicide and from opiate overdose. For the first time in American history, life expectancy has dropped. So we've got to really look and work as a community to think about our health together. That's kind of the thoughts that are in my mind.
Well, let's just jump into it. I mean, the whole concept of protecting your gift, what does that mean to you? When we say protect the gift, I mean, let's spend some time talking about that. I know we want to kind of touch on some July Health Awareness Months, this segment with cord blood and some UVA rays and prevention. And then we also wanted to talk about protecting our teens and seniors in this effort. So, protect the gift. What does that mean to you, Rob?
To me, the gift is the gift of your health and the life that it brings to you. And so, as one thinks about the gift of health, we're not just talking about the health of my body, but the health of my mind, the health of my family members and friends, and even the health of my community. I'm lucky. I grew up in a wonderful community that was supportive at the level of the government, the schools, the church and temples, down to a wonderful family and a great peer group. That all was part of protecting my health, was the gift of those people around me. Now I'm in a mode where I, with my health and knowledge, want to help protect them. But I have to be healthy to start with, Lucy. If I'm not healthy, I don't have the stamina or the energy to help others, and I don't even become a burden, distracting people from their own health. So protecting the gift starts with protecting my health, then looking for ways of protecting others. And you used a word earlier, kindness, that goes to support everything. If you look at someone, if you looked at me in the mirror with the wrong clothes on, you say, my gosh, you're fat, you're old, you've got this condition, whatever it might be, it's hurtful. You're funny, you're stupid, you're black, you're white, you're yellow. The kindness issue is huge. We have to get along better with each other and find ways of supporting each other. Is a big way of protecting the gift, is emotional, not just physical. Your audio just went away, Lucy. I cannot hear you.
Sorry about that. From my standpoint, protecting the gift is really making sure that everybody has equal and fair access to the types of information, to the types of support services, and even motivational factors to kind of take those steps towards protecting your health. We all know that that's not even playing ground, and that's why you and I are working on Force for Health, to basically bring, there's a little fly in the studio here, to bring free and low cost but high quality resources to individuals, group leaders, and community directors who care about improving health outcomes. Along that line of protecting the gift, let's talk about July Health Awareness Month. We've got cord blood and we've got UV rays, right? I think you did I know you did a little video. I'd like to just go ahead and pop that in, and let's just go ahead and talk about it afterwards, so that we can really give folks a 360 human explorer look at what the sun actually does to the skin.
Yeah, I just used one of our 1,000 models in our software to illustrate this. Go ahead then, play this. Hi, this is Dr. Rob Gillio from the Force for Health. We talk a lot about protecting the gift of our health, the gift of our life. One of the biggest things that protects that gift is our skin, the largest organ on our entire body. And it protects from a lot of things: insect bites, drying out, infection. But it's also very vulnerable to things like laceration or attack, and even things like attack from the sun. Here you can see a Caucasian person with light skin that has developed a burn, a redness. That redness sometimes will peel, and sometimes will even blister. And it's something that's a first and a second degree burn. That's not insignificant, because once it gets that deep, it can cause problems in the genetics further down in something called the dermis. Let's take a closer look at that. If we looked at the skin here in cross section, you'll see here there was sunscreen. Here there was not, where it's burnt and actually blistered and lifting off, with the top layer here absolutely dead and dying. There's hair follicles. Here's a hair follicle surrounded by glands, which make an oily substance and sometimes sweat that gets onto the skin surface. The red parts are blood vessels, are arteries, and the blue are veins. And these yellow things are nerves that go all the way to the end. Way below the epidermis and the dermis is fat. But this is a living organ and it's massive. Here's the problem. When you burn the skin with ultraviolet, it gets inflamed. When it gets inflamed, it makes liquid. When it gets inflamed and makes liquid, it can literally lift off the epidermis and the dermis, exposing the very vulnerable underside to a lot of pain and discomfort, and sometimes even bleeding. One of the things that happens is within this area, there are cells that are called melanocytes. And over time, when these get exposed to sun, they grow and they hypertrophy, and there get to be more and more of them. Over time, if there gets to be too many, or they get exposed too many times, one or two of them might go a little crazy and become a skin cancer and just grow too much. So it's important, no matter what your skin pigmentation is, protect the top of the skin so that you can protect the underside of the skin and all these functions, and long-term have less deep wrinkles and less risk of skin cancer. Some that are not so dangerous and some that are quite dangerous. We'll talk about skin cancer some other time. My main goal for you now is cover up in the sun with sunscreen, SPF 15 on up to 50, depending on how long you'll be out there or the complexion of your skin. Everyone, no matter how dark their pigment is at risk for burning of the skin diseases that are ultraviolet light related, including things like malignant melanoma. Hey, thank you for being a force for health. Take care of yourself, take care of others, and take care of that skin. Okay, it's a bit corny, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but the bottom line is cover up. Wear a hat, wear long sleeves, loose clothing. If you're out there every 2 hours, you probably need to reapply that sunscreen. SPF 30 to 50 if you're Caucasian, 15 to 30 to 50 if you're not, depending on the amount of time you're in the sun. If you're going in the water or if you're sweating, you got to reapply it. And what type is the best? The type that you like. Everything on the market is either mineral or oil-based, both of which have been approved. Cover up, I think, is the main thing. And then any lesions you see that are growing or suspicious, take a picture, follow them over time, and if they change, go get them seen, get them checked, get them biopsied. That's it's July. Let's enjoy the weather. One last thing: if you're on an antibiotic or a medicine that makes you sun sensitive, like tetracycline or doxycycline, up here we have Lyme disease, and there's a bunch of people on doxycycline. That'll make your skin much more sun sensitive. So really cover up then.
So we'll have some more resources on the forceforhealth.net. I mean, the forceforhealth.com. And we ran out of time, didn't really talk about cord blood, but we will circle back around that on the last segment. So thanks, Rob. That was awesome. You know, part of the 360 Human Explorer tools are the features of the types of resources that we're trying to bring to folks for a very low cost, less than $1 a week, if you really truly want to get to know your inside human explorer body better. So coming up on the next segment, we will have Jessica Shelley, CEO and co-founder of Dailies, and Mona Nieheim-Canales, who is with the ISCA, International Swim Coaches Association, and Pitchfork Athletics. So we'll be right back after this little 30-second break.
Dailies is the leading educational success platform that provides families with the resources they need to help their children succeed. Through live personalized classes with certified educators, rich daily reports, and 24/7 academic support, we provide you with a personalized learning solution designed specifically to help your child surpass their academic goals. We offer supplementary learning experiences through Dailies Pods and a full comprehensive homeschool option through Dailies School. Unlock personalized learning for your child with Dailies.
Great. So we are back, and before we kind of come into a studio here, I wanted to do a quick little, a quick, my own producer, if you can't tell here. So this next segment is really, I'm excited about, because I think people really sometimes assume that parents automatically have all the answers to help kind of support all of these healthy initiatives that we all want to take part in. And sometimes they need as much help as maybe my grandmother or my teen. So we're all in this together. Population health is really a team sport, and that's really the basis of what this whole Reality Health Games challenge that we're kicking off this summer and into the fall season is all about. We're trying to gamify the active, healthy citizenship, owning your health, being engaged, and knowing what you can do to be kind and compassionate while taking care of your own health and protecting the health of your family and those around you. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Jessica, Shelley, and Mona. And it looks like we even have a special guest, Brad, on here. And we will bring him in for a moment just to say hello. And then we're going to kick off some coaching tips. But let's see. Oh, where's Mona? I'm sorry. I brought in the wrong Mona. There you go. So, yeah, this segment's really focused on coaching tips. What can we do to help parents kind of prepare themselves and kind of motivate the family? But before we kick off, we've got Brad, who is also here with ISCA. We're working with certain organizations like the International Swim Coaching Association, because oftentimes there's need to certify their trainers, or needs to certify volunteer coaches. And sometimes it's a little overwhelming to perhaps gather all of that information and put it out in a timely fashion. So we're excited to be working with you. And Brad, any kind of quick thoughts of welcome and introduction before we hand it on over to Shelley and Mona?
Thanks for inviting me here. I'm just looking forward to learning as much as I can from today's program.
Well, wonderful. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick it off. I'm going to pull in for a little quick interview here and take that off. So Jessica and Mona, our first coaching tips hour, right, segment. Let's go around the table. The reason why I'm excited that both of you are here is because you both represent different phases of parenthood. Jessica, as you kind of just saw from our spot, is one of our strategic partners. She's the co-founder of Dailies, and she really focuses on matching mentors and teachers to younger kids, literally like even 3, 4, 5 years old up to 10 in small group settings. And so, you know, in less than 2 years, she's been able to create a network of over 14,000 families taking advantage of this. And really, she grew that over COVID period, right? And so this whole digital movement towards Zoom and online, we've all kind of learned along the way. So I thought it was wonderful. Welcome, Jessica. Tell us a little bit about Dailies Pods and what the state of the union you think are with young parents right now.
Yeah, so Dailies is an educational support platform designed for families. And so we really go above and beyond in supporting families with their educational journey and also just child development. As far as families go, summer is always a stressful time with kids home from school. We're still maintaining homeschooling through the summer. So with parents, it's mostly about giving grace, helping them be prepared, and having open dialogues with their kids throughout the year about their education and their wellness.
And we're going to circle back around to that as we're recapping. And then Mona, you know, you have a very, very interesting set of experiences too. I mean, so starting out as a national Norwegian swimmer, you know, all the way through your youth and through college, and also playing swimming out here at U of A, and then collegiately coaching in states like Michigan and Texas. I know that the Pitchfork Swim Club up there, Pitchfork Aquatics in Tempe, is lucky to have you. And then you also have an international consultant role, you know, with developing resources and items for ISCA. So you have seen a different angle of parents. You're also working on your PhD, focus on parental influence and behaviors on athletic performance, right? So
Correct.
what's the state of swimming right now, and what are some of the tips that you would offer parents who want to kind of motivate their families to get in the game and maybe play alongside the Reality Health Games season this year?
Well, first of all, living in a state like Arizona, I think almost every house has a pool and neighborhoods have pools. So encourage people to just do things together. We have amazing hiking trails. Take your kids out, look at different places that you can go, just engage them, find out what works for you. Every family is different. Swimming specifically, with our club, we engage the whole family. We have, I shared some pictures with Lucy earlier today from our parent involvement day where we had about 60, 70 people in the water. And the funny, exciting part about that is the parents realize how challenging it is to be a swimmer, because most of them, when you're watching from the side, you really don't understand. Then you get in the water and it's an eye opener. So the more we can educate and the more we can join the families, I think that's the key to an active lifestyle and an active family.
I went on mute there because I had a little doggy in the background. Let's kind of look at this. Jessica, I want to come back to what you said, right? Talk about open dialogue, be prepared, give grace to yourself and family. Do you want to, expound on those a little bit more?
Absolutely, yeah. So especially with younger kiddos, having that open dialogue and ongoing conversation is really critical, because it's not just going to happen in a classroom or one specific class that they take. So being able to really continue that dialogue, talk about healthy behaviors, being active with them, getting them excited about those kinds of opportunities is really key in engaging even the littlest kiddos. And then the second one is being prepared. There's lots of resources out there for families. And I realize, like, as a mama for myself, it can be a little overwhelming at times. But doing a little bit of research and trying out new things can also be a way to kind of boost your confidence as a parent of, this is an activity that's been vetted, or this is something that worked for another family. So take advantage of resources that are available. The Force for Health has a great categories, classes, all of those types of things that can help and support that. And then the final one is to give grace. Especially with kiddos, they can be unpredictable. So if there's things that aren't working the first time, try it again in a couple months, or try to re-engage them in different activities. So nothing has to be perfect. It's all about that joint effort on being a fit family together.
And what you and I have talked about, recently is, yes, there is this, challenge and initiative that we really would like to try and support this family as a team unit, population health, team sport. Can we actually form a team as a family? I did it for my family from this past Christmas, because it's nice that we see everybody once a year, and then everybody goes off. And I thought that this was kind of an interesting way to motivate us to stay together. But but parents also, I think, long and seek for peer-to-peer type of connection as well, right? So sometimes it's nice to have the space and tools and audience and support just from the mom next door or virtually next door, who's going almost as crazy as you are. It's like, just breathe, give grace, talk about it, and you're good to go, right?
100%, yeah.
And Mona, let's kind of take a look at your 3 tips and take a little bit deeper dive into them. I know that you are a swimming coach. I know your whole life is swimming. But, we talked earlier in the week about maybe they don't like swimming. Maybe they like something else. So I loved your tips of encourage them to explore, be open-minded and flexible, and then model the behavior. How would you like to kind of take a deeper dive on this?
Yeah. Well, the main reason is because it's not for everyone. You know, every day you have a conversation with kids about what they want to accomplish and what they feel like their passion is. And it's not necessarily always the same as the parent. So for a parent to be open-minded and understand that they need to find their own path, something that they're passionate about and they enjoy, that's very important. And then support them basically in learning what it is that's going to work for them and what they will enjoy doing. One of the things that we tell swimmers is we teach them swimming for life, not just swimming for now or for reaching a goal, like even if it's swimming in high school or going to nationals or Olympic trials or trying to make the Olympics. It's swimming for life. So if we've taught people that they can swim continuously till they're 105, then I feel like we've done the right thing.
And you know, I think also ISCA is kind of in an interesting role. I mean, you are the global association for international swim coaches. I think, you know, your husband is an Olympian, and you know, and coached and swam in Turkey and Venezuela. I'm probably saying some of the countries. Where did he? What are some of the countries that he's coached and officially swam for the national team?
He swam for Puerto Rico, and he is a 3-time Olympian from Puerto Rico. He was Latin Swimmer of the Year in 1978. I know we're old, but so he's worked with athletes from multiple countries in South America. We worked with the Turkish national team for 2 years, Canada, France, you name it. We both worked with multiple Olympians from all over the world. And it gives you a different perspective on how life functions and what's important, because as much as the cultures are different, the similarities are there too, especially when it comes to achieving the goals that you're looking to get to.
Well, I think, you know, 40,000 worldwide coaches, mostly on a volunteer basis, right? Representing what, 20, 30
Correct.
different countries, right? So super excited to kind of be working with you on those types of initiatives as we reach out. You know, there's a ton of people that are kind of twiddling their thumbs and bored. And swimming is such a wonderful, you know, lifelong sport that I'm sure that there's people who might be interested in perhaps checking out their local swim club, seeing how they can maybe get involved in coaching as well. So, you know, don't sit on the sidelines. Find what you love, lean in, and, you know, kind of model the behavior. Your last deal in there. So, well, I know that I can talk to you two for like 2 hours, 3 hours, because parents and coaching tips is what I'm passionate about. But that's kind of wrapping up our second segment here. So I just wanted to say thank you very much. We have actually created a Fit Family Force community at the Force for Health. One of the cool things about this is that not only is this a video and media type of content provided to you, but you can join for free, and you can actually have access to some of the mental challenges, the move, learn, serve, and earn. Oh, I should go this way. Move, learn, serve, and earn challenges along the board. And so it's all about just kind of getting started. And we will officially be kind of taking off some, I guess we lost Mona there for a second. But anyway, so Jessica, thanks for joining us. We look forward to more parent and coaching tips next week. And I will kind of wrap that up, and we will be right back after this little 30-second deal. Thanks, Jessica, for joining.
Bye, thank you.
So, like I said, I'm excited that we have a coaches and parent, you know, team, advisory council, and focus, because everybody needs help along the way. And for most of us, like you and I, Rob, we have parents on one side of us and kids on the other side of us. And then you even have grandkids, right?
But you know
One
what
layer
we
down.
really have is if one adult that cares has been shown to make a difference. That coach can change a life. That teacher at Daly's can make a difference in the life of that child with the stability. We all have that ability. So parents, coaches, and just interested adults who care about kids, that's what gets me excited about the conversation you just had. Those parents are not just reaching their kids, but the neighbors' kids. And those coaches are a parent figure in many a family.
Well, so let's lean into our third segment here. We got through protecting the gift and coaching gifts. So, and let's go ahead and talk about heroes and highlights. Now, this is a rather, it's new to everybody else, but it's not so new for us because as long as I've known you, we've kind of tried to highlight and give recognition to those not expecting it, right? Whether it's on the news or someone down on the street. But as of now, moving forward, Force for Health Heroes is really going to play a important role. So if you see somebody, a frontline worker, a teen that goes and helps a senior across the street, your mama, your music teacher, whoever you feel deserves mention and recognition as a Force for Health hero, we'd like to go ahead and give you points if you share on our network. We want to really start celebrating that. And so rather than kind of going off and choosing one Rob today, I thought we'd just have this segment and be able to highlight some of our Force for Health heroes for the last 6 months, 8 months. If there's one or two that come to mind, we're probably working with them. I want to just say, as the official Force for Health hero segment kicking off, having worked with you the last 5 years on this and many other levels, and I've already called you a Force for Health hero maybe 2 years ago, but I'm going to claim it again. I'm going to claim you as my very first 2022 Force for Health hero. And I do that for many reasons. You are a Mayo trained you're Mayo trained clinician. You are the dad of 5 daughters, right? Mm-hmm. You are one of the most compassionate kind. I joke because I call you like the Mr. Rogers of health education, because I've just seen you so patient and kind, and the way you explain things is really, really appreciated for many people. So I am officially going to kick this off, since it is your birthday week as well, noting you as my Force for Health hero.
Well, I'm very honored, because I think that means a lot to me, and I think one doesn't have to be a kind of philosophically, if the day ends with one person doing a little bit better at the end of the day because of your action, that's heroic in a way. Maybe it should be routine, but the word hero is used quite often. But I think those routine things are becoming rare. Civility of just being nice to people, watching our politicians talk to each other, for instance. Civility is disappearing. And just being kind to someone can really make someone's day. That thing about one adult that cares. I've got the highlight of my life is Shaquitron Williams. Every now and then reaches out to me. He's a young man that we met briefly in New Orleans after Katrina, and he had more problems in his short life than I've ever had in mine. And every now and then he'll just reach out and say, "Hey, Doc, I want you to know this about something because I knew you'd care." And I think caring about something is a big part about being a hero. My mother always said, if it's been a worthwhile day on earth if when you go to bed, you can say someone's life is a little bit better because I was here today. And I think, if we're going to get all sentimental about this, I think my mother caring for my sister during bone marrow transplant issues, being that patient advocate at her bedside, making that nurse wash her hands, and then put on a new pair of gloves, not trusting where the heck those gloves had been before she came in the room, trying to administer a medicine or start an IV. Here's a mother looking out for a daughter as a hero. This weekend, I think the people of Highland Park, Illinois, a 2-year-old was orphaned. In the act of dying, the father shielded the child. When the child was wandering, a different set of strangers grabbed that kid and got it out of harm's way. And now a GoFundMe campaign, I believe, has raised well over $1 million for the benefit of this child, mostly from the citizens of Highland Park, that in their grief, they don't know what else to do. And part of what I'd suggest, Lucy, is the concept of there's a real good psychological profile here of a concept of a way to recover from emotional trauma is to do something positive. And since we are all in emotional trauma right now, after the COVID, with worrying about our 401k or our job or our school or whether we should go to a crowd or not and get shot at, etc., we're all under some level of stress. And if we reach out and do something for someone else and are proactive, that is a stress reducer and it helps someone feel better about themselves. And so one of the real rewards of being a hero is the intrinsic satisfaction. One of the real rewards of being a hero also is you get a lot of points in the reality health games, which is an extrinsic satisfaction, both of which have been shown to advance people's health. You've introduced me to some people who have done some wonderful things, unabashedly promoting things like colonoscopy with butt check and some of the. Why don't you speak a little bit to some of your thoughts right now?
I mean, as we kick off the second half of the 2022, I look back and part of me feels like, oh, I'm still behind the 8 ball and we still have so much to do. But then other parts of me just says, Lucy, breathe. All we can do is, like Jessica said earlier, give grace and continue putting forth the efforts that you feel is right and needed. And for me, like I said, I'm just passionate about helping folks who are seeking resources and tools to help themselves and or their families, groups. I have a particular passion for teachers. That's why I was excited that Jessica was able to join, with her network of teachers and, being able to actually match those teachers to younger kids. And my mom was my hero. You mentioned your mom, and I'll go ahead and be able to maybe tag this foundational Force for Hero segment to my ultimate hero, my mom. So she was a science teacher. I think you and I are on the same page in terms of really delivering better science-based health information so that we can all make better decisions and just get to know what and how our body works a little bit more so that we take the guess out of it. I also think that as we speak heroes and as we are on the July 4th week, our frontline heroes, those that defend our country, those that are out there and supporting the laws. Now, we talked earlier in the week how the Constitution set forth the framework of our country, and it's not set in stone, and it's meant to be continuously reviewed and questioned. And so, those that step up and serve, yes, they're my hero, but hopefully they are doing so in a passionate, authentic, and well-informed manner. And if they're not, then it's up to us, the people, right? The everyday heroes, to make efforts to change the things that are really causing ourselves this concept of feardom instead of freedom that you spoke about earlier this week also. So, we're wrapping up the segment on heroes. Like I said, we've got so many in the pipeline that we're excited to bring to you over the course of the weeks and through our network. But today, foundationally, just wanted to kind of kick it off. Thank you, Rob, for everything that you've done, all of your lessons learned from 9/11. I'm excited it's interesting how we looked at 9/11 as the 20th year anniversary, and you updated the book that you wrote, and working with the 9/11 Memorial Trail Foundation, and really we're almost to September again, right? And so it seems like every quarter there is this interesting reminder to slow down, breathe, own your own health, be kind, compassionate, and thoughtful.
Yeah, I think, Lucy, we can't do everything, but we've built a network that can democratize other people like you or me with their subject matter expertise to help us educate and share and mentor, like the two people you just interviewed. Um, I really have to give tribute to you with your multiple skill sets that are highly complementary to mine, and your patient education of dealing with me, um, with my I'm a visual learner and a bit of an ADHD impulsive person, and you have the ability to reduce it to useful, rather than ramblings, delivery, with whether it be in film, so to speak, in an app, online in a lesson, or in print, or audio without the benefit of the multimedia visuals. You're multi-skilled, and much of it is self-taught, and others of it is inspired as you've worked with experts, from a Surgeon General of the United States to people in business development and angel funding, and um, Chamber of Commerce is for the Tucson Hispanic Chamber. All the things you've done and are bringing to this, as we are creating a community of people that care. I think they're all heroes in their own right. But I'd love to see, as you have that hashtag up there, people nominating, feel free to let us know. We'd love to profile a hero, or share an image, share a video, share a post, and use that hashtag. Because I think if someone is expanding upon your physical or mental health, or your ability to get food, or your ride to the doctor's office, or your ability to get schooled or mentored, or your ability to get rehab, those are all health. Those are all health heroes. Someone helps you feel better about yourself.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. So let's go ahead and wrap up this segment. We will be right back after this little 15-second break, and we will lean into then the fun part, reality health games. So stay tuned. Okay, so we are back. And so this last segment is really about being able to dive deeper into, I should probably have my logo up there, for reality health games. Reality health games is really, well, let's just say it this way. I've been a little bit surprised at the growth of video gaming into an actual sport. That high schools and collegiates have all gathered around. This is a billion-dollar industry where, and nothing against video gaming to a point. We will have another segment coming soon on maybe some of the other effects of different types of video gaming. But if we can allow for a video game event to be an actual interscholastic sport event, why not gamify this concept of healthy citizenship? So schools, individuals, corporates, nonprofits, everybody has some type of activity and effort into giving back, stepping up, learning themselves, and moving. We should, I'll put a link to this video in the comment section when we post this, but the very core base of what it is, why we're doing this, is this tsunami effect, the tsunami status of public health that we've talked about, right? We are, number one, moving about 30% less than we were only 25 years ago. And believe it or not, by 2030, many experts are predicting that that number is actually going to be increasing to 50% less. Our bodies are physically moving 50% less. That is on top of the epidemic of preventable chronic health disease rates, right? Now, we all know that obesity is the root cause of a lot of that chronic disease that is preventable. 80% of the healthcare costs are tied to some type of chronic disease, and about 38%, I believe, is the most current number, right? If you look right or you look left, one of you are probably living with some type of chronic condition that's costing you a lot of money and a lot of probably pain, right?
It's not just
Unnecessary
costing
pain.
them. It's not just costing them, it's costing society. It's costing the employer. It's costing that we're all paying it with our insurance or with our taxes. And we're paying it with watching and someone suffer. As diabetes becomes an epidemic and is becoming one, the predictions are happening right now. And diabetes will lead to more heart disease, more kidney disease, stroke, hypertension, premature death. So we have issues. You know something about gamification, Lucy, that occurs to me though? It's not just the kids wanting to play video games. How many of us are choosing which credit card to use because they get points for flying or get a refund? How many of us are choosing um, uh, various things based on loyalty points and perks? Gamification has been shown to influence the decisions people make, and real health outcomes are influenced by one decision at a time in sequence. So real health, reality health games is to encourage us to make every one of our decisions be based on maybe getting a few points or accolades if it's not just for the reason of doing it because it's healthier. So it's combining that whole incentive for trying to pause a minute and think, I might get more points if I walk and get my 5,000 or 10,000 steps than if I drive, or those types of things, to get points for moving, learning, serving, and earning. It's not just for me. What I like too, Lucy, is once people get it together a little bit for themselves, when they team up and they serve together in a community, doing a project, addressing one of those 80% things you talked about, social determinants of health, they're getting points for their service projects on a local basis. And if we can have people doing things on a local basis worldwide, we have a whole new kind of Olympics out there with reality health games that you can support as one human being participating, or as a major corporation, maybe giving some incentives, or university giving a small scholarship for those that excel at it. I'm so excited.
You mentioned a couple of things. There's all sorts of fitness apps out there. There's all sorts of like healthy websites out there. And it's almost like we've been told by 17-year-olds, 14-year-olds, even 50-year-olds, 80-year-olds along this pilot phase over the last year, is it's just too much. I mean, for a 17 and a 18-year-old to say point blank, we don't have any resources at school. Health is not being supported. Really, health and PE are not required major topics and subjects that have traditionally been funded. And so unless you have a very proactive PE or wellness director writing grants and self-funding their own department, oftentimes schools fall short. And we're feeling it right now with mental health.
That's where your wisdom comes in, Lucy. That's where your mom's main lesson was. STEM is health. If you can understand science, technology, engineering, and math, and that's something that is being pushed in the schools, and you're getting points for being involved in learning those concepts and putting them in use in your community. The schools are underfunded for health and PE, and we're trying to supplement that, yes. But we're also trying to enrich and advance what you're already doing with STEM. Is it good science to get immunized or not? How do we make that decision on an individual basis? We have to understand science, not just necessarily what the media is feeding us, depending on what channel we're watching.
Just to finish up the 4 pillars, just to kind of complete that thought, we're moving less. We're not adequately supporting health in our schools, like we just said. Our mental health state for our teens and others, but primarily our teens. That's our future workforce. it's about a 30% increase over the last 5 years in terms of harmful behaviors and the whole negative sides of the mental health.
Mhm.
And there really is an intersection between health and wealth. You know, this whole earning concept, it really helps tie the fact that a foundation to earn is really going to be rooted by how strong your foundation of health is and how much you own that. And the other concept that I just wanted to pull out there as we segue into what's coming up and kind of exciting with some of our spotlight communities. You know, I'm here in Tucson, Arizona. You're there in State College, Pennsylvania. You're backed by Penn State. You know, we've got U of A down here. We're also working closely with ASU and NAU and across the state. So we don't have to go that far to actually have a quick little multi-state and community challenge. So this isn't just an individual thing, right? You can look to join for yourself, but you can also earn points for your group. This is a family. This is a family power hour, right? So you get to earn points for your family if you happen to be playing in the Fit Family Force leagues. I know my family is all teed up, and we're going to take on any other family over the course of October 1st to May 23rd, which is going to be the live season of the first Reality Health Games. But there is that intersection of education leaders, healthcare leaders, private sector leaders, and public space leaders to come together and really focus and pledge to improve health outcomes for everybody. And that's where I feel like we've found a little niche here. Rather than just being a side committee at the Chamber of Commerce, or rather than just being kind of a annual luncheon that everybody comes to, this will be a ongoing, healthy, interactive outreach, support, and challenge type of deal. So Team Up Greater Tucson, we're teeing up Team Up Greater Phoenix and My Healthy Arizona. We're going to take on Team Up Greater Pittsburgh, My Healthy State College, and My Healthy Pennsylvania. And we're also working with partners in Louisiana with Dillard University, and we're working with some partners in Ohio. And we're even going across the globe over to Africa with some recent teams that we've activated in Kenya, with My Healthy Kenya, and Nairobi. So literally, we can have this whole virtual health challenge with anybody who chooses to lean in and want to play. A portion of the proceeds goes towards the Citizenship Health Institute that will further support scholarships for those looking to want to get involved. And if you join as a group leader, there's also a nice little fundraising tool to help support the initiative too. So that's what we're trying to do this year, Rob. And my thoughts and prayers and energy goes out to all of the moms and dads who have had to navigate a crazy last 3 years through this. It's not over. We are living kind of in a new landscape area, and we will transition out. But again, we're encouraging people to work together, not in silos, for both mental and physical health outcomes, you know.
Well, you've got me sold, and I really haven't talked to you in rehearsal for this call, but how would if someone were to email me tomorrow and say, how can I get involved? How do I do this? What do I do?
Well, one of the things that you could do is you can just go to the FamilyForceForHealth.com and sign up for a free membership, right? We've got the, I've got a, if I pull this up really quickly, where are you? The ForceForHealth.com. Sign up for a free membership, and you can search for My Fit Family Force group. There is a free community group there that will support all of this content and also be able to now If you sign up and do nothing more, then you can just have access to learn. If you download the app, then we can pull your steps in and you can actually start participating in some virtual challenges. And if you wanted to go ahead and upgrade into a 360 ambassador for less than $1 a week, it's all of $49, then you'd have access to a personalized health risk assessment, our premier wellness and nutrition apps, and then also our full model of bilingual 360 human explorers, and start really playing in the Reality Health Ambassador Leagues, which is kind of cool because there's cool prizes and giveaways once we go ahead and get that activated.
I get excited about that aspect because they can earn points much quicker as an ambassador. And if a coach is really trying to motivate students to work out, I'm just thinking in the previous segment, for them to better understand their body and how it works, as well as I really hope that what we're doing with Reality Health Games is motivating people to also think about a caring profession. And in the process of playing and taking the courses, they'll be exposed to the beginning of some pathways to some very good career options in education, social work, healthcare, psychology, law enforcement, etc. Very interested in, you'll see in future segments about citizenship itself. And it's what Lucy has to her right is that move, learn, serve, and earn points for everything. And I think the intrinsic satisfaction, though, is what I get excited about when someone gets that aha moment because they've contributed, made a difference. If we have some decent scholarships or other prizes for them, that'd be even better.
So, if you're a teacher, if you are a principal, if you're a mom, I always say the mom, sorry, dads, but oftentimes moms are the CEOs of their family, right? And so, but you have to take care of your own health first. So that's why there's connect, take a pledge, start improving your own knowledge. And if you'd like to lean in and use the tools to manage your team and or even learn how to use the tools to improve your resources in the classroom and or your homeschooling, let us know. But we're going to go ahead and be here every Thursday for the next 10 weeks. And I'm going to have a special guest for the month of August, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But final words of wisdom from me really is we are leaning into an election year, okay? And there are a lot of health-related issues at hand. And I always say you can't complain if you don't do anything. So I would highly encourage you to know who your officials are, get out and vote if you can, and then really look in and start moving, learning, serving, and earning. Rob, what are your final words of wisdom?
This is also going to be a challenging year for everyone, no matter what. Be kind and be patient. You don't know which one of the 200,000 children you talk to lost a relative to COVID this year is without a parent. You don't know who lost a relative to a shooting or who has a Ukrainian refugee as someone they're taking care of. Be kind, vote, take care of yourself. Thank you.
Great. So for all the Facebook community out there, thank you for watching, and go to www.theforceforhealth.com if you'd like more information. And again, My Fit Family Force is meant to be an omni-media type of engagement platform. So not only just watching it, but if you really kind of want to play along, download the apps and then join us weekly here as we kick off the Reality Health Games this summer. So see you later. Thanks for joining us, Rob, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you very much.